What is up, everybody? We are but 2 days away from the NFL draft. We've been super excited for it.
Yes, sir. Let's go.
Let me tell you guys that we have been talking different strategies for different teams throughout this entire last month.
Yes.
Whether it's Travis Hunter here, Travis Hunter there, Shedeur Sanders here, Shedeur Sanders there. Guys, tune in today. This is our final mock draft. We've got the picks of where we think everyone is going to go for Thursday. Tune in here. Welcome to the Wombo Combo Show.
What's up, guys?
What it up? What up?
Hope everyone had a good Easter.
It was a great Easter for me. I ate a bunch of food. Let's see how these teams are going to feast in this draft here, buddy.
Feast or famine time.
It is feast or famine time for April after you got your ham in. But, guys, with our first pick, I think that with the Titans, we've talked about this over mock drafts 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0. It hasn't changed at all, anybody. Cam Ward is going to the Titans.
Yeah.
There isn't like, well, what if? There isn't.
That's lock set in stone. Next pick.
Yeah, that's basically just before we move on to this is exactly like Caleb Williams to the Bears last year. There is no there isn't anything. There's nothing that they could take that would be a better selection for this team moving forward for the future.
No, I can't think of one.
You can't run with Will Levis this year. The project is over.
No,
right?
That's done.
Absolutely. So
they need a quarterback.
Titans, Cam Ward, locked in stone, guys. Coming up at the second pick. Our rival team is a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. This is the Browns.
Is it a rival, though?
Yeah. It's who tries to be a rival. We'll put it that way.
I know.
Now we got some hot stuff coming for you on the Browns here today. But first off, with that second pick, it's kind of been, is it Abdul Carter?
Yeah.
Is it Travis Hunter? Mm-hmm. Well, I think we have decided there is no question on this either. It's Travis Hunter, guys. Travis Hunter, I think, is 100% a Brown. I think with his decision to work on both sides of the field and not play if he doesn't play both sides of the field, the Browns seem like the team that could use a player on both sides of the field at cornerback and also.
They need someone. They need a star athlete.
They need a star athlete.
Other than Myles Garrett, who, in my opinion, is overrated. Anyways, but no, it's a smart pick to go get Travis Hunter. 100%. Have him play offense and defense. I mean, I think they're one of the teams that will enable him to do so.
Yeah,
as well. If they don't, I think he'll be able to do the same thing with the Giants if he does fall to 3. But Browns take him at 2.
Yeah, I think the Browns definitely take him at 2. The only other option would be potentially maybe Abdul Carter, but in this situation, I think that it is just best for the Cleveland Browns to go this route with the most athletic player in the draft.
Yes, sir.
You'll see why we definitely want him to go to the Browns here coming up later in the show. So let's hop into the third pick, Ben. Third pick. This is Abdul Carter.
Yeah.
This is the Giants getting a guy to go on the opposite side of potentially Burns. Now, they do have Kayvon Thibodeau there, but you could pull him up in maybe a different line position or linebacker position.
He hasn't really lived up to his hype.
100%. He could be a trade.
Since he's been drafted.
He could be a trade candidate because he is on the last year of his contract as well.
Yes.
So
they still have Dexter Lawrence, right?
They do have Dexter Lawrence.
Yeah, so they got someone up.
They
got someone who can come up the middle. They'll draft Abdul Carter who can come off the edge,
and then Burns on the other side.
Yes, sir.
That would be a stellar defensive line for the Giants. That's why we have him going that route, guys. So with the third pick, the Giants will be taking Abdul Carter on Thursday. That is the Wombo Combo shot on that one. Ben, why don't you take the fourth pick here coming up for the Patriots?
Yeah, so at 4, the Patriots will take Will Campbell, tackle out of LSU. They're going to beef up that offensive line. They're going to get the best tackle in this draft to help protect Drake May and just keep that offense rolling.
100%. Drake May needs to be protected. Now they got wide receivers like Stephon Diggs on the team for him to throw to.
Yes.
Adding Will Campbell would be the best option there. Now, we did talk about this, Ben, you and I, before we move on to the next pick, that if any of those guys in the 2 and 3 spots, if they move out somehow, like the Giants were to take Shedeur Sanders for some reason, I do think that the New England Patriots will take a different player. They'll take Abdul or they'll take Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
If that guy falls. Because you don't play around with the fourth pick. The fourth pick in the draft is the best available athlete is still there. You're going to take him. In our mock situation, though, we're not playing with any dumb decisions.
Yeah, no.
So, best available left tackle is going off the board. Will Campbell to the Patriots. Ben, at 5, we have the Jaguars. Jaguars have had a lot of controversy this week.
Yep.
Randomly, all these reporters are coming up and saying that the Jaguars are maybe a sneak pick for Ashton Jeanty. We don't think that.
I don't think that at all.
I don't think that at all. For the Jaguars pick, Ben, who did we have lined up for them, and why do you think we're going to go with that?
They're going to take Mason Graham, defensive tackle from Michigan.
Best one in the draft.
Best one in the draft. Arguably one of the best player available at 5.
Absolutely, I would agree.
I mean, it's a safe pick. It's one that makes sense for them.
100%.
To bolster the interior of that defense. Everything starts in the trenches in football.
100.
If you have a good offensive line,
Yes.
if you have a good defensive line, either one, you're gonna win football games if you're good in the trenches.
Absolutely. Jaguars already have great edge rushers. Let's shore up the interior of that defensive line. Like Ben mentioned, be able to utilize those players a little bit better, like Hines Allen.
Yes.
Next pick. This is where we have been saying this. I mean, guys, weeks now. I don't think either one of us.
Months.
Yeah, months. Honestly.
Literally.
I don't think either one of us have frayed off of this. This is the, not Oakland, but Las Vegas Raiders, and they are going to be the ones who take Ashton Jeanty. We've gotten comments back and forth whether Raiders fans love this, taking a running back this high. I just see this as the best available guy that fills a position that they do not have anybody of worth at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ashton Jeanty, that'll change the whole offensive makeup. It gives Geno Smith a safety valve in essence on this offense.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Ashton Jeanty is 100% to the Raiders. We won't spend much more time on that because we've said it, like we said, for months.
We've said it
We're
for
just
months
a
now.
broken record on that one. Coming up at 7, guys. Now we did have a little bit of a twist here. 7 is where things start to get interesting, guys. Next guy off the board for the Jets, Ben, why don't you take this one?
Yes. The Jets at 7 are going to take Tyler Warren, tight end, out of Penn State.
Spicy.
I've been saying this for a while. I think Tyler Warren is going to go in the top 10. I believe he can go as high as 7 to the Jets.
100%.
So, I mean, he's a playmaker. He can catch the ball. He can do wildcat things for you as well.
Yeah, for a tight end, he's very athletic, very fast. LG, what up, dog? Welcome into the live. I just think that I haven't mocked this out, but you and I, we had our pre-mock discussion, and you kind of convinced me on it that why would the Jets go for an offensive lineman when they could have a guy of the future, a George Kittle-esque player in Tyler Warren?
Yeah.
Why not go that
100%,
route?
Yeah.
I like the pick. I like the pick for Justin Fields. Coming up next, guys, at the 8th pick. Now, we talked about this last Tuesday. Panthers, big team for discussion of trading out of this pick, whether that's trading back or whether it's trading out completely.
Yep.
Picking up future picks. They do have some picks in the later rounds, extra picks in the later rounds, so they can still build their team without that first-round pick. In our mock draft, we do have them trading away that first-round pick, and they're trading it to the Browns, guys. This is the biggest move of the draft. We have the Carolina Panthers trading their number 8 draft pick to the Cleveland Browns, and the Cleveland Browns will select Shedeur Sanders, matching up both Colorado players in this draft on their offense, and then obviously you're going to have Hunter on defense as well.
Yeah.
That is the splash play of the draft. I highly think it's possible.
It is possible. It would be absolutely wild.
It would be wild
if the Browns actually trade with the Panthers to that 8th spot to get Shedeur Sanders.
It would be wild. Ben, we didn't really go into the specifics of what that trade would all entail, but if you look at the Cleveland Browns remainder of their draft, they have multiple.
Yeah, they have multiple picks.
Good picks. They have the 33rd pick, which is the first and the second round that they could shop around in this.
Yes, sir.
Maybe send their first next year. That and a pairing of something late in order to move up and get Shedeur Sanders. Pairing the guy we just, touted as the number 1 athlete in this draft, Travis Hunter.
Yeah, he is the number 1 athlete in this draft, for sure.
You're putting his best friend with him.
Yeah.
The guy who threw him the ball in college moved from Jackson State with him and his dad to Colorado. I just see this as too right. It just makes too much sense for them to sell the house on this and try to build off of these two.
Yeah.
And make them the franchise.
Yeah.
I think it's the smart move. I think that's what they told Myles Garrett, and that's how they got him to stay. They're like, dude.
Maybe.
Because he said he's comfortable with who the quarterback of the future is going to be, and it sure as hell isn't going to be Kenny Pickett.
It's definitely not going to be Kenny Pickett.
So I think that this is the most probable and the best move for the Cleveland Browns. We'll see if it's possible, but that's what we have for the Cleveland Browns. This is the big trade of the first half of the draft.
Yeah.
Shedeur Sanders, Cleveland Browns, 8th pick in a trade.
And this would be the first step to rectifying the Deshaun Watson trade.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Browns fans, we're trying to help you out.
We are trying to help you out. We are.
We are trying to help
Steeler
you
fans,
out.
That's crazy, but you know.
Let us know in the comments what you think about that crazy trade. The Cleveland Browns trading back into the first round at 8 to take Shedeur Sanders to pair him up with Travis Hunter. Let us know. I'm sure that you will.
That's
Next pick that we have coming up, Ben. This is a good one as well. This is now because the Saints can't get Shedeur Sanders because the Browns traded above him. Mm-hmm. We've got Jackson Dart.
Yep.
And now we've kind of said this over at least the last 2 weeks since we found out that Derek Carr is injured. He is maybe not going to be playing this season with that shoulder injury.
Yeah.
So why not bring in a new quarterback in Jackson Dart?
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you're going to be playing Spencer Rattler for the entire season.
Who ain't it?
No, you already seen what he had last season because he played a good portion of the season. It was not very good. Jake Haener is the other quarterback on the roster.
Not very good either.
Completely
not
sucks.
Not very good either.
So
I mean, with their 9th pick, I mean, if Tyler Warren doesn't go 7 to the Jets, I could see them taking Tyler Warren as well.
Right.
But if he goes at 7, if we're correct, which we're not going to be, but if we're correct, they'll take Jackson Dart at 9.
Yeah, like we kind of said with the Patriots, if one of these players that we've already mentioned falls out of that top 10 or that top 8 rather, they will go at 9 to the Saints. But if Jackson Dart is the best available quarterback that is on the board, I don't see them going O-line. I don't see them going with the wide receiver like some people are mentioning.
Yeah, no.
I see them taking Jackson Dart in this situation.
Yeah.
Making sure that the Steelers don't pull that trigger at 21. And then they miss out on a quarterback completely. Unless Milroe is the guy that they like. But I just 100% don't 100% think that's...
There's no way Milroe's going to go in the first round.
Yeah, definitely not at 9 at least, right, guys?
No.
Coming up next. Now, this is a guy who's climbed up the board as we've gone through these mocks. Your first mock, he didn't even make the board.
No. I totally forgot about him.
Yeah. Second mock draft, he made it into the end for you. He was on mine towards the end. Now here in our final mock draft, he's made his way entirely up the board.
Yes.
This is Walter Nolan. He's going to be going to the Bears, filling in that interior defensive line. I think that if you take a look at what the Bears did this offseason, they grabbed Grady Jarrett to play interior, but why not bring in a rookie to play behind him, learn the sticks off of him, eventually take over? They do have, I think it's Dexter Sr. or Glexter is his name, who was drafted by them 2 years back out of Florida. Okay. He's all right, more of a pass coverage guy. Walter Nolan, 5 technique, also interior.
Yep.
So I would it's one of those guys that you could put opposite of Sweat or in the interior, and he's going to be great.
Exactly.
I think he's going to get to the pass rusher. I think this is a great ad for the Bears. If you look what they did the rest of the way across the board, the offensive line is already shored up. They drafted
did that in
wide
free
receiver.
Agency. Free agency, they went after O-lineman, and I feel like with this first pick in the first round for them, they'll go get Walter Nolan.
Yeah,
beef up that defensive line.
100%. The only other guy that I could see them taking in this position, if Walter Nolan isn't it, is if somehow Ashton Jeanty falls to 10. 100%, the Bears will take him. I think pairing him up with DeAndre Swift and having a 2-headed monster there, but. We have him going early, and we haven't had him not going early since the very beginning. So Bears, Walter Nolan with the 10th pick, guys, coming up at 11, second trade of the draft. You want to cover this trade, Ben?
Sure.
This is a spicy one.
Let's do it. So 11 was originally the 49ers pick. The Dolphins will swap picks with the Niners, include Jalen Ramsey in this trade to move up to 11. So Miami can draft Armand Membo, tackle from Missouri.
So we talked about this one, and now last week we were mentioning Jalen Ramsey, a good spot for him to land is potentially the 49ers after losing their cornerback core. Obviously, the 49ers are in a rebuild mode. Team that's in between them, that's the Dallas Cowboys. They also lost a lot of offensive linemen. Miami gets a little scared, wants to go above them, takes Membo in this situation. Like Ben mentioned, they are just moving back from 11 to 13 with a swap including Jalen Ramsey. I think it's a decent pick. Jalen wants out. They're able to move up 2 picks. It's a pretty clean swap out. Two positions on this, unless they're fighting for the same guy. I see it as a highly probable thing if that is a team that wants Jalen Ramsey. I could honestly see that happening, no problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But let us know in the comments what you think about that, guys. Miami Dolphins moving up 2 picks with the 49ers ahead of the Dallas Cowboys to take Membo. They swap first-round picks, include Jalen Ramsey in that trade. Let us know what you think about that in the comments. Are we crazy? Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, but I like it. I like it, all right? Coming up at 12, though, our next pick, this is first wide receiver off the board.
Yeah, first wide receiver off the board.
Now, you had talked about this last week with Tet McMillan.
Yes.
And having him go to the Cowboys. And it just seems like as time goes along, this might be one of the best landing spots for Tet. Another one just in the top of my mind is Seattle as a replacement for DK Metcalf. I'm not 100% sure that he's going to play up to the level of DK Metcalf. But in our situation here, we've got him going to the Cowboys, playing the opposite side of CeeDee Lamb in that offense. Something I wanted to add quickly with this. I don't know if you've seen this today, Ben. But Jerry Jones came out. Now, he's one to tease all kinds of things before the draft. But he says he has 2 major trades that he's trying to work through before the draft. Okay. Depending on how they go, he's only going to pick one of them. But he's between 2 picks right now. He could be lying. Take it with a grain of salt.
He could be lying.
Take it with a grain of salt.
We'll see.
But, guys, for our picks here, Cowboys, Tet McMillan, that was your choice last week. I think it sticks in stone. I like that pick.
I think it sticks. I think it's either 12 here. I don't think he's going to fall farther than that, to be honest with you.
But I think the offensive player is definitely the move for the Cowboys. Now, whether it's Tet, whether it's Matthew Golden, or whether somehow, again, like we said with the Bears, Jeanty somehow falls out of the top 10 to the Cowboys, this is definitely the move. It's going to be a wide receiver. It's going to be a running back. Most likely wide receiver, given how the draft is set up. I don't think they'll reach for a Marion Hampton. That would be the next available running back, but there is a chance.
They could. They
there is a chance.
Reach for a Marion Hampton, but I don't think they will.
Now, if they do, they'll be able to pair up. I don't know if you knew this. Javonte Williams and Amarian Hampton, both North Carolina guys, would both be on the same team.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That would be interesting. Yeah. However, that's not what we took for this one, guys. In our next pick we have coming up, this is the 49ers, who did trade back.
Yes.
Moments ago, picking up Jalen Ramsey from the Miami Dolphins. We had him take a Mike Green.
Yep.
Plainest name in the draft, but a guy that we've talked about pretty.
He's another one who rose up on our draft board.
Absolutely.
For this final mock draft.
Absolutely. He was in the 20s for most of our drafts, mock drafts. However, he has moved up as we've gone along. All of his tape, guys, in the combine is great. He just excels, and excels. He looks like a freak. I mean, behind Abdul Carter and maybe James Pierce Jr., this is my third best edge rusher, I think, that is available on the board. Looking down through the list, the kid from Boston College, yes, very good. We had a deep discussion about him last night.
Yes, we did.
But Mike Green, we have him going to the 49ers. That's coming up with the 12th pick, putting him on the opposite side of Bosa. Hopefully that creates some sort of pass rush for the 49ers in the rebuild mode. Given the state of the NFC West, though, they could be in rebuild mode and still make the playoffs. I was talking with a couple viewers about that last night.
They could still win the division.
They could still win the division. that division is definitely in repair. So with the 13th pick, an edge rusher and Mike Green goes off the board. Let us know what you think about that, guys. Coming up at the 14th pick. Now this is the Colts.
We debated on this one for a little bit.
This one took us a little while to get through on the Colts. We weren't sure who exactly we wanted them to go with, the options they had available. Obviously, we liked players such as Tyler Warren going to them, or potentially one of the linebackers going off the board to them as well. In this situation, we did have them go with a linebacker. Maybe they pick the second best one, in my opinion, for the middle of the field. I like Campbell from Alabama, a little bit more than Jalen Walker, but Jalen Walker, very good. This is who we have them taking. Oh, man, watch out, microphone. I'm swinging fingers today. At 14, we have the Colts taking Jalen Walker, having him play not only on the ball but off the ball as a linebacker for them.
Yeah,
If
he can do it both.
Yeah, he can do both. If you look at their roster, I mean, it's like Zaire Franklin and a couple practice squad guys on the roster right now. Yeah. This is definitely something that is a need.
They need linebacker over there in Indy.
100%.
So, I mean, I think this is a solid pick for them. Part of me still thinks they take Campbell though.
Over him?
Over him.
Yeah, it's a toss up for me, guys. I mean, if the Panthers do not trade away their pick, I think they take Jalen Walker, and then this would cause the Colts to then take Campbell instead out of Alabama.
Sure. If that's the case, they'll definitely get Campbell.
100%. Given what we have and how we set this up, though, we have Jalen Walker as the 14th pick going to the Indianapolis Colts. Guys, let us know what you think about that one. Coming up with our 15th pick, this is the second linebacker. Now, this is a little bit of a run there. We're going to have Campbell going off the board.
Yes.
Shaheed Campbell, he's going to be going to the Falcons. I had him in one of my mock drafts before. I thought you did too.
No, I the last couple mock drafts, I've had Arizona taking a wide receiver.
Atlanta, not Arizona.
Atlanta. Sorry.
Yeah, you had Atlanta taking wide
both
receivers.
A's, come on.
Right.
Both red, both birds.
In this situation, it seems like Ray McLeod is going to keep his job.
Yes.
So Shaheed Campbell, we have him going at number 15 to the Falcons. I like this pick for them, replacing people like Nate Anderson or Landman. Yeah, mix Anderson and Landman together.
And Landman.
Both of them gone. Both of them replaced by Campbell in our picks here. Coming up with our 16th pick and the last pick of part one here.
Now the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, Arizona Cardinals. With the Arizona Cardinals 16th pick in the draft, we have them taking Barron.
Yes.
Jihad.
Arguably the best corner.
Yeah.
He's
definitely the best man corner in this draft. That is for sure. He's definitely the best on press. He's definitely the best man coverage guy. This is definitely a huge need for the Cardinals. For sure. Given the situation with the Miami Dolphins and the 49ers, sorry, my brain stopped working for a second. But given that trade setup that we have, this is what allowed Barron to fall into that 16 spot. This gives Arizona Cardinals an immediate starter at cornerback, which is something they badly need. The only guy that you can name in the whole entire secondary is Budda Baker, and last season he was quiet as could be. I love this pick for the Cardinals. I think this just puts them more forward. We were just talking about the fact that the 49ers could potentially win their division because of how bad it is. This move actually makes the Arizona Cardinals a little bit more relevant. They weren't too far out of playoff spot last year, but the defense was clearly a need.
Yes.
Another one is obviously wide receiver. However, in this situation, we think defense wins championships, and this is why they go with Barron first. Just too hard to pass up on that.
They also could go get an edge rusher as well, but with the signing of Josh Sweat in free agency,
it's a less of a need.
I agree with you here. They're going to go corner, take Barron at 16.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, let us know what you think. Do you think Barron slid too far in our first half of the draft? Do you think that we're crazy because Shedeur Sanders is going to be going to the Cleveland Browns with the 8th pick? Let us know. We'll have the second part for you.
I think we're crazy.
Yeah, we might be. We'll have the second part for you here coming up tomorrow. Make sure that you subscribe. Make sure you like, and make sure you have that bell on so you get the notification when that next episode drops. Want to appreciate you guys for tuning in to the first half of our final mock draft. Again, if you don't see us, we'll be live Thursday for the entire draft. Make sure you tune in live here on YouTube or TikTok. Until the next one, peace out.
Yahtzee.